Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Jasra, visiting faculty member, English Department, International Islamic University, Islamabad. Today, we are going to study how to greet others, how to express your gratitude, which means how to have different ways to thank others. And then we will study how to invite others. And at the end, we will study how to express our regrets. We can say that this lecture will be more about speaking communication, but it definitely deals with written communication as well. First of all, we will study how to greet others. In greetings, we have general greetings and then we will have formal greetings. Fine, what is greeting? By greeting, we can say that whenever we start our conversation, we say few expressions. For example, in Pakistan, in Urdu conversation, we start our conversation with saying Assalamu alaikum, kaise hai, theek thak, and same goes for Arabic and other languages. Every language has some specific expressions to start our conversation. So basically, by greetings, we can say that it is how to start our conversation. So in general greetings, we have first of all casual greetings, which is, you can say that in informal situations. Well, informal situations are dealt with when we are starting our conversation with family members, friends, class fellows, or it can be the different settings. It can be home setting, family setting, or staff room setting where colleagues are there, or it can be a classroom setting where the students are there. So there are some expressions which are very much familiar to you guys, but definitely we have to study them. Before we move forward, I would like to say that this lecture is definitely going to help you improve your spoken skills, definitely. But as I said in the beginning, that we will also deal with some of the aspects of written communication as well. So whenever we meet somebody and we want to start our conversation, so we start with hey, hi. Now many students ask this question whether hi is okay or hey is okay. So basically these are some expressions which native speakers use. So native speakers can say hi or hey, whatever you want to see. I mean, it depends on your personal choice. Both have same meanings or same expressions. So you can say hi or you can say hey. And then you can add a few phrases with hi or hey. I mean, in native English speaker would start his conversation with hey or hi, but he will definitely add a phrase or two phrases with hi or hey, which can be what's up, how is it going on, and there can be other expressions as well. So this is very casual, very informal and very simple start of your conversation. Now there is importance of the responses as well. So we will also study how to respond appropriately if somebody has started his conversation. So for example, if a person says to us, hey, how are you? What's going on? So we can have different responses. So one of them can be thanks, I'm good, or I'm good, thanks. It can be vice versa. And for example, he says that what's up? So you can respond as not much. You? Now this is very informal, as I said. I mean, rather than saying the full phrase, for example, the full phrase would be not much. What about you? But you can remove what about and you can only say you, and that would be a proper response to the conversation, the start of conversation. Then you can also say doing well. How about you? Now, how about you is a phrase which can be used in certain circumstances, in different situations. For example, if somebody asks, hello, how are you? And you can of course respond with I'm fine or doing well, how about you? Now, how about means how are you basically. So in the start of conversation, the one who is starting his conversation will not say how about you. You need to understand this, that if somebody is starting his conversation, he will not say how about you. It is the response of the person B. Basically, the person A is asking question and then person B is responding in a different way, where he says, how about you? As I said, how about you can be used in multiple situations. For example, if somebody says that I'm not feeling well today, and then he says, how about you? Then how about you means, how are you feeling? One person can say, the person A says that I love watching cricket, and then says, how about you? Then how about you means that, do you love watching cricket? Okay, then again there is a conversation in person A says that I love eating vegetables. How about you? Then how about you means that, do you love eating vegetables? So whatever the person A says, person B can say, how about you, for the same conversation, and I hope that you understand this. So this was all about general greetings, means when you meet informally with some of the friends or family members or your classmates. Okay, now there are some other expressions that we can use. As I said, and I want to remind you people that this lecture is going to significantly help you in your spoken skills. If you really want to improve your spoken skills, then this lecture has to be attended completely and you need to finish it till the end. Fine. So there occur some positive events. A success is being celebrated, a victory is being celebrated, an achievement is being celebrated. So these are called positive events. Now, how to respond to positive events? So in responding positive events, we can have, and then I'm basically talking about casual expressions. I mean, your friends, your family members have done something great, and they have done something huge. They have been successful. They got victory. They won something. Now you are going to respond to that situation, and you can say, wow, that's awesome, or you can say, I'm so proud of you. Now I said and most of the students when they are going to start their conversation, they do it like, I am so proud of you. Well, it is not wrong, but if you really want to sound like a native English speaker, it would be better to say I or I'm. Rather than saying I am, you can say The easiest and the most appropriate way is to say Wherever it is I am, you can say So I'm so proud of you. And then you could say, you totally deserve this. I mean, somebody has won something, he achieved a victory, so you're responding that you totally deserve this. You can also say, great job, great job. I mean, sometimes a child comes to us, and as a father I can give an example, and my child says to me that, Baba, I have done this. So I would say, great job, mashallah, great job. So this is one of the expressions that you can respond to the positive events. And then of course we can say, that's fantastic news, that's great news, that's awesome news. So these are some of the expressions. And remember that it's very important to adopt to the intonation, to the pitch, to the way you say it. For example, if I say, that's fantastic news, now it doesn't have those emotions. But when we say, that's fantastic news, that's fantastic news, that's awesome, rather than saying that's awesome, that's awesome, that's awesome, I mean, it doesn't have those emotions. So remember, it's not just memorizing some of the expressions. It has to be filled with your emotions, with your intonation, with the rise and fall of your speech. So you need to be very careful while you are watching this lecture and trying to mimic, trying to copy what I say. And it would be a good way as well, that when I'm teaching you how to express such things, and I'm repeating those expressions, it would be better for you as a student that you keep on repeating the way I say. So as I said, it is very important to include your emotions, to say it with proper emotions and proper feelings. Why? We have again responding to positive events for formal expressions. In the previous slide, we studied how to respond to some of the informal expressions. But here we will study how to respond to formal expressions. I mean when there is an academic setting, when you are talking to some senior, when you are in office and it needs not to be informal, you have to be very formal. It's a strict kind of environment. So here, of course, our words and our expressions, or you can say the intonation, the rise and fall of our also changes. So you have to be careful the way you respond to the happiness or achievement or success or victory to your loved ones, which are family members or your friends. You cannot adopt the same way, same words, same expressions if you are responding to an event of which is related to an academic setting, which is related to a formal situation, and it is not informal situation. Now, we will, how would we respond to a formal situation, positive events? Now, the number one is congratulations on your achievement. Now, remember, this is, there is no strict boundary between such informal and formal expressions. But the conventions, the traditions, language has conventions, traditions, that how usually native speakers respond to situations. So we are following those conventions basically. So in academic settings, we are responding, congratulations on your achievement, and then you can say, I'm delighted to hear that. Now these words are very formal. We do not use with our friends and family members and brothers and sisters and parents, of course. But these are very formal words which we can use in academic settings. Then you can say, that's an impressive accomplishment. You can also say, you should be very proud of yourself. And then you can say, please accept my warmest congratulations. Now again, you can judge these words if you can read them and you can respond and you can repeat with me. You will come to know that these are very formal words and we usually do not use them in formal situations. Fine. So now we have some more expressions which are encouraging and sportive responses. When we want to encourage somebody, when we want to support somebody, when we want to have, when we want to acknowledge something, then we have different words, and it would be great to learn those as well. So number one is keep up the great work. That means that carry on with it. You are doing very good, so you should continue with this. So this would be keep up the great work. Situation, okay, fine, I can explain the situation as well. For example, a teacher, and he is checking the response of or the work of a student, and student has done significantly great. Now the teacher would like to encourage that student so that he should carry on with such work because he has done exceptionally well. Now he can say, keep up the great work. So that means carry on with that. There is another way. This is just the beginning of many successes for you. That means you are encouraging him. You are, having sportive responses for them. Then you can say, I can't wait to see what you will achieve next. There are a lot of things coming in your way. You will achieve much more than this. And then we can say, you've really outdone yourself, means you have done a great job. So these are some of the expressions that we use when we want to encourage others, when we want to have some sportive comments so the person feel pumped up. Now, we move towards formal greetings. Greetings, as I said earlier, and I want to repeat it, that in greetings, we are going to start our conversation. So in informal, we had that hi, hey, what's up, and we can also add in informal, of course, what's up, bro, what's happening, all right. But in formal greetings, we of course can't use the word bro or maybe what's up or something like that, of course, because it is a very formal, official, academic setting. Now, when we have some meetings, we have interviews, or we can have formal presentations, as in the classroom, you are going to present. There are students sitting before you, and of course teacher is also present in the class. So these are very formal situation. Or you can say that when you are entering a room and for an interview, for example, and you are also addressing a group. It can be addressing a group of students, addressing a group of your class fellows, but in a very formal academic setting. Now, what are those examples to start our conversations, to start our communication, which is termed as greeting? So, there are good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, these are the three expressions that you can use rather than saying hi, hey, hello, how are you, something like that. That is not to be used in formal greetings. Another part of formal greetings, which I have made it formal greetings B, where we are going to introduce ourselves or some others. So these are called polite introductions. Introductions with colleagues, with some superior people, with senior people, and more importantly with new acquaintances, the people whom you are meeting for the first time and you don't know them before. So these are called the new acquaintances. So what are those examples? What are those expressions that you can use in formal settings and you want to have polite introductions? Number one is, it's a pleasure to meet you. Now, this is something when you are going to start your conversation, of course, and you can say, I'm honored to meet you, or you can say, nice to meet you, or you can say, it's great to finally connect with you. Now, these expressions comes after good morning. Remember, I mean, you are going to start your introduction with that person. So the order of your conversation would be that first of all, you will say good morning, or maybe good afternoon, or maybe good evening. And then the next phrase or the next expression can be, it's pleasure to meet you. Imagine a situation, for example, that you are in a graduation ceremony and there are few hundred people sitting before you, or maybe it can be 30-40 people, and you are on the dais and you are going to start your conversation. So first of all, you will say hello, good morning. I mean, hello is optional, of course, but good morning is very important when in the formal settings, of course. Good morning. And then, of course, in Pakistan or in the situation where we have, as a Muslim, we can say Assalamu alaikum, which is, of course, not abandoned if you are even in America or in other countries. It's not important that you follow their rules. Assalamu alaikum is a very formal start, of course. It can be informal, it can be formal, both. It can be used in both ways. So what I wanted to tell you that these formal greetings, where we are going to say the formal polite introductions, is going to be the start of your conversation. So first of all, you say good morning, and then you say, I'm honored to meet you, or nice to meet you, right? Well, nice to meet you is a phrase which can also be used while we are going to close our conversation, we are going to end our conversation, and there we can use nice to meet you, and we can use it in the beginning of our conversation as well. Now we move towards some other welcoming phrases which are used in formal greetings. So we have welcome to the meeting, welcome to the hall, or welcome to the graduation ceremony, whatever it is. So you can do that. Now you can say that it is starting with good morning, and then you are doing it, saying it, I'm honored to meet you, or it's pleasure to meet you, the previous one, that is the second one, and at the third place you can say welcome to the meeting. Now this is the order, the way you start your conversation. I mean, there must be some students watching my lecture who would like to become a presenter at some event. So it's very important for them to learn that if they are speaking in English in that particular event, and they have been selected as an event presenter, then they need to follow this expression so that they can do it formally and in a proper way. So we have some other phrases as well, that as we can say that we are delighted to have you here. I mean, you're talking to the people who are sitting before you. Then, thank you for joining us today. Good morning, I'm honored to meet you, or you can say good morning, nice to meet you, or good morning, it's pleasure to meet you, or you can say good morning, it's pleasure to see you people, and then you can say we are delighted to have you here in this graduation ceremony. So these are the three phrases that I told you in different steps that you can judge the order of these phrases as well. That was about formal greetings and welcoming phrases, and there are some other phrases that can be seen on the screen. You can pause it and you can read them. Then we have contextual greetings for formal situations. So I would describe three different situations, and you can have some additional expressions. Maybe some repetition is there, but for the sake of more understanding, for a better understanding, I have added 3 more contexts where you can use these expressions. So first of all, in an academic environment, you can say, good morning, professor. It's a pleasure to see you again. Good morning, student, or the name, you can say, good morning, doctor, or good morning, any other person, whatever the name of that person is, and you can say, it's a pleasure to see you again. Or you can say, thank you for inviting me to this discussion. Then in a courtroom setting, for example, there is a situation where there is a court, I mean the judge is there, the lawyers are there, so there is definitely different word, and that is good afternoon or good morning, your honor. Now your honor is basically used for the judge who is part of jury. And then, may I take this opportunity to express my gratitude for being here, being heard. Now being heard is something which is usually said in the courtroom situation. By this slide, you will also learn that you always need to alter, to reshape your greetings in different contexts. I mean, there must be some students who would be watching it and would say that leave it, we can do it in our way. Fine, you can do it in our way, in your own way, but when it comes to learning properly, when it comes to doing the things with proper way, then we of course have to follow such things. And then we have, in a professional setting, it can be any other professional setting other than academic environment. So you can say, good evening everyone. Let's get started with today's agenda. So this is a kind of situation where a company meeting is there, there can be an organization, and the meeting is going to start, and then you can start your greeting. So it was all about greetings basically, and then we after this greetings we will move towards the gratitudes. But before that, I would like to request all of you to listen to it once again so that you can repeat all those phrases. All right. Okay, so now we move towards how to express gratitude. It is very important that we use proper words, proper expression if we really want to say thanks to any person who has done something good for us. So now we are moving towards what are the formal expressions when we are saying gratitude. Okay, by gratitude I mean when we want to say thank you in different ways. So there are almost 10 different ways that I have written here on the screen. You can see it. Of course, I am not going to read all of them, but for the sake of explanation, I would read 2 or 3 out of these expressions which are considered to be formal expressions. Remember, I have said it multiple times that formal expression means where there is a kind of formal setting, academic setting, a classroom setting, a staff setting, something like meeting or interview setting. These are the settings which are called formal settings, of course. So what are those different expressions that we can pronounce while we want to say thank you to someone? Okay, one of them is I sincerely thank you for your kindness. The other is I truly appreciate your generous assistance. And one more, please accept my heartfelt thanks for your help. So these are certain words. Of course, I'm not going to read all of them, and I would request you to pause the video here and you can read out all these expressions and you can adopt any 2 or 3 of these expressions. Remember, it is not good that you have only one expression and you keep on repeating that expression at every single place. I mean, this is not a good. Your communication has to have a variety of expressions, and that's why I have written 10 different types of expressions which can be used as a gratitude in formal settings. So it is good, as I said, that you choose at least 3 to 4 of these expressions and use them at alternate situations. Now we move towards the informal expression of gratitude. If there is an informal situation, you want to say thanks to your say class fellows, your friends or your family members. So whenever you are talking to your family member, your class fellows, your friends, then of course this has to be an informal setting. So in informal setting, the most common that we use is thanks a lot. Thank you is also there, but saying only thanks is somewhat considered to be very dry expression. So it is always better that even in informal situations you use more proper words. So there are some other, I really appreciate it, and thank you so much, thanks so much, or you can say big thanks. Remember, in such situations, as I said in the beginning of my lecture, that it is majority of my lecture is going to deal with the spoken expressions and spoken communication. But even in spoken communication, you have to be careful about your expressions. But one thing that I want to mention here is that grammar, the rules of grammar may not be followed in certain such circumstances. So you can say it anyway. I mean, you can violate some of the grammatical rules while you are in informal setting and you want to say gratitude. Fine. So that was about how to express your gratitude in formal settings and informal setting. Now we move towards writing task. This is one of the very few tasks that we have to discuss in our lecture, that is how to write a formal letter of thanks. When there is a proper formal setting, an academic setting, for example, there is somebody who has guided you in a particular seminar or a workshop, or maybe you have attended a speech and you want to say thanks because that person attended your lecture and he accepted your invitation to join in that particular session. So there are certain different circumstances where we want to write a letter of thanks. So I have written a brief letter of thanks as a sample, and I would like to read it and explain it in front of you. So number one is, of course, you will start it with there can be different ways to start your letter. Of course, you can study how to write a letter in any other lecture or any other source, but my concern major is what are the basic salutations and what should be the body of that letter. It can be definitely different depending on the situation. Now, dear sir or dear madam, or sometimes we can say respected sir or respected madam, respectable sir, respectable madam. There are different types of salutation that you can use. I sincerely thank you. Now, the word sincerely from the very beginning of writing letters shows that this is going to be an academic and a formal letter of thanks. So I sincerely thank you for your invaluable guidance and support throughout my recent project. Maybe you are writing to your supervisor or somebody who is a professor at a university and he has helped you a lot. So your insightful feedback and encouragement have played a pivotal role in my progress and success. You see the words, they are very formal, they are very much carrying respect for the person who has guided you. I truly appreciate the time and effort you dedicated to helping me improve my work. And then you have closing remarks. Once again, thank you for your mentorship and consideration. And then you write yours sincerely, and most of the time students put apostrophe between your and s, considering it as to be something like as a word which needs salutation, but which needs apostrophe. So it's not the case here. You do not put apostrophe here. And then you have to write sincerely because it is used in the most formal settings whenever you are writing to somebody who is senior to you, who is maybe your boss or your teacher or your principal or whoever it is. So that was actually a kind of invitation letter, letter of thanks that you can write to somebody, and it was a formal letter of thanks. Here there is a home-based activity for you as well, that you will write a letter of thanks to your class teacher who has guided you throughout your semester, and you want to say thanks because he has helped you in different cases. He was very regular in his classes. He explained the concepts, the difficult and complex concepts, in a very nice way with very lively examples, and he was very welcoming if you went for some queries. So you are going to write a formal letter of thanks to your teacher, and that is your home-based activity. Okay, now we move towards some other formal invitations remember, here we are basically talking about some of the expressions, not the proper full-fledged letter. Okay, so there are some formal invitations that you can see on the screen, of course, and I'm not going to read all of them. Basically, this lecture is all about to introduce all such expressions which introduce how to greet and how to invite others and how to regret, and I mean all about these expressions. So sometimes we do not need to read everything that is written on the screen, of course, and you can read it while pausing it. So the number one is, there is a type of expression that we can write it, that we would be honored to have you join us for. And of course, for you can add anything it is a kind of template for you, I guess. I mean, you can use these templates for the invitation purposes. So if you want to complete it, so we can say that we would be honored to have you join us for the annual conference on December 18th. So after for, you can add anything. There is another example that I would pick. We cordially invite you to attend, and of course then after attend you will write the event you want to mention. For example, to attend the opening ceremony of our new office on Friday. So these are simple one sentence expressions that sometimes you write, maybe design a card, an invitation card, which is not a proper letter of invitation. Basically that is a kind of card which is decorated, and you have chunks of information on that card. Maybe that is sometimes a marriage card as well, or it is a card where you want to invite a senior professor to any of your programs. And here the most important sentence or the most important chunk of information in that invitation card or invitation letter is that sentence that we are discussing right now. So you can choose any one of these invitation sentence, and you can edit it accordingly. So now there are informal invitations. That before we were discussing formal invitations, but now we are going to discuss the informal invitation. So informal invitation is, of course, you are maybe in most circumstances nowadays we can say that you are maybe sending a text message to your friend, a WhatsApp message to your friend, or a voice note to your friend or any family member, or someone who is very close to you, and your people are frank to each other. So this is not a proper visiting card, invitation card or invitation letter. This is a random SMS or text or WhatsApp chat. So of course here are different ways to say that. And again, once again, if you are watching this lecture since the beginning of this lecture, and I really appreciate that you are still watching it, because I said you in the very beginning of this lecture that this lecture is not going to maybe help you a lot in your examination hall maybe, but it will certainly help you to improve your communication, because I am dealing with the communication, how to improve your communication. In the beginning, of course, we talked about what is the importance of communication, but right now we are discussing what are the ways to invite others in an informal way. So these are certain ways that you can improve your communication, of course. So here is one of these phrases is or sentence, I would say, how about we catch a movie later? So this is one of the type of invitation. You see that it doesn't have those proper words and proper structure of invitation that we saw in formal invitations. Another, we can say, want to come over and chill? I mean, see, there is not even a proper subject, verb and object type of proper following or structure of that sentence. It is just starting with wanna, which again is an informal word which is used for want to. So and starting with want to, no sentence, proper sentence in English starts with verb, but here in informal invitations you can definitely use such expressions. So you can again, as I said, there are 7 different types of expressions you can see on the screen, and you can choose any of them. And I said it earlier that please do not go for only one type of expression or 2 types of expression. Your communication must have variety and creativity. So it would be better if you can alter, you can change all these expressions according to the situation, according to the person, according to the context, and keep on having variety in your communication. Now, how to accept invitations. Now, when somebody, of course, we were learning that how to invite others, but what if you are invited for a certain program or something like that? So it is, of course, here we are discussing the multiple and mixed type of responses when you are going to accept an invitation. So it can be, of course, a formal written reply, which certainly is going to be in detail. Of course, it's not going to be a one sentence, but in formal setting as well. Nowadays, we see that the formal settings are also being communicated on WhatsApp and text as well, or maybe sometime on email. Well, somebody receives an email of invitation and he is responding in a single sentence. So it happens in the formal settings as well. So there are some templates you can use for your communications. Say, I would be very happy to attend, thank you. So this is an acceptance that yes, I'm going to participate in that. And one of these is, I appreciate the invitation and I'm excited to come. Again, I would put stress on the importance of learning all these expressions, because most of the times we are not using proper expressions, and when you are not using proper expressions, that means your communication skill is not effective. So if you really want to have effective communication skills, then you must follow such expressions in order to become somebody who is known as having an effective communication. So that was about accepting invitations in different circumstances. Now, of course, not always we are going to accept invitations. There might be some reasons and situations where we have to decline those invitations, means we are not going to accept those invitations. So certainly there must be some particular words and particular phrases in proper order that can be used for declining the invitation. Now, you can say that unfortunately I'm unable to attend, but thank you for thanking me, thinking of me. I mean, this is one of the very nice way to express your sorry for not being able to attend the party or whatever the event is, that you are acknowledging and appreciating that thank you very much that you invited me. Sometimes we are very harsh because we do not know maybe that what is the proper way to decline an offer. So it is always good that first of all you appreciate and acknowledge that thank you very much that you invited me for that. Without thanking and appreciating and acknowledging this fact, I mean, it would look very harsh if you simply say that I'm not able to come. Fine. So, and again, if you do not add some polite expressions in the beginning of your decline, then of course again it would look very harsh. So without adding unfortunately, it is not going to be very polite. So it is very important that when we are declining an offer or declining an invitation, we have to be very polite. And how can you be polite? Especially in written, of course you need words. And while you're face-to-face declining an offer, of course you can use your smile. But when you are writing, in written you are declining it, then of course your words are your expression. So another way is to, I'm really sorry that I have other commitments, but I have other commitments. You can say that like, thanks for the invite, but I won't be able to make it this time. So again, you can see all these expressions that are on the screen. You can see that all these expressions have a very polite tone. So it is, again, I'm stressing on this matter that you must have a polite expression for declining invitations. Now, we are going to learn an invitation email as well, and you will have a home-based activity as well for this. First of all, I will explain it, and of course, you can get to know that how to write an invitation email. So I would ask you to write an email to one of the influencer of your area. Maybe it can be a social media influencer or whoever he is. You can choose that, and you should invite. It's a home-based activity, fine. that you need to invite him for a kind of maybe a talk. Yes, because he's a professional person, he knows a lot about his field, and you want him to visit your university for a talk on his expertise. Fine, so you will write an email. Okay, we move back towards how to write an invitation email. Of course, in email you have a box where you need to write the correspondence email, and then you can add emails in CC. Of course, you know it very well, but there is a very important section while you're writing an email which is called subject, and in subject you are going to write invitation to our annual conference. I mean, this is of course a sample email, but if you want to invite the person for other purposes, then you will invite invitation to our, and then you can add, or invitation to, and then you can add it. You can edit it, of course. Then you will start with dear or respected or whatever the proper salutation is, and then you will write the name of that person, and then you are going to start your email like, I hope this email finds you well. We are pleased to invite you. We are pleased to invite. Now you are using those expressions which we have just studied in the previous slides. So I'm not going to read all the email because of course it's going to be wastage of time. You can pause it and you can read it. But definitely I would like to read the closing remarks and how to end our email. Finish our email. So looking forward to your positive response. This is a very overused phrase, I can say, but of course you can use it I mean, if you want, and then you can say best regards or yours sincerely or whatever, and then you can write your name and your class name or whatever the other information is important for it. So this was about invitation to email. And now we are going to study how to express regrets, very important part of our communication. Of course, we come across some situations we have to say sorry for certain situations, or maybe there is somebody who is suffering from something, or he had any issue or any accident or whatever, he is suffering from any bad situation. So in all these situations, of course, we are not going to be silent, and we will definitely say something on that situation. So there are certain situations, and we are going to have some of the examples that how we can express our regret. So the most common thing the most common expression that we have, that is I'm so sorry. Or maybe, for example, you want to say sorry because you troubled the person. You say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for that. But if you heard something bad about that person and you want to express your regret, that you feel something for him, then of course you can say, I'm extremely sorry to hear about it. Now this is very common expression, but I have kept saying throughout the whole lecture that please keep on changing and keep on having variety in your expressions. Only that way you can become somebody who is called somebody who is effective communication, that we have discussed already in our previous lectures. So there are some other words, so we can pick two of them. I apologize for missing your event. I mean, this is when you are missing somebody's invitation and you want to respond to that person in such a way that because you were invited but you couldn't. Fine. So after that you couldn't, of course you can express that. So I regret not being more sportive. So this is again a different way. Of course, there can be hundreds of situations where you can change it, and we are not going to cover all those situations here. The purpose for this particular lecture is to just make you understand that these expressions are very important in our communication skills, as I'm dealing communication skills. Fine. So expressing regrets is one of the most important part of our communication. Again, there is I'm really sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. Okay, then there is I wish I had made more time for you. Fine. So there are different ways you can copy all of these, and you can add it according to the situation, and you can practice. And I said, yeah, in the previous lectures I said it again and again that please, you need to practice it. The language, if you really want to learn a language, and especially here we are talking about English language, then you need to practice it. So if you really want to adopt these expressions and you want to include these expressions in your communication, then you will have to say them again and again and use them again and again in different situations. Okay, now there is a different way to apology. I mean, then expressing regret is definitely different thing, and apology is certain a bit different. Here, apology is when you want to apologize, of course. And here again, I would say that I'm sorry is one of the top expression that we use in apologize. But of course, we are having different ways to apologize for different situations that we can use. So, I sincerely apologize for the misunderstanding, or you can say I'm deeply sorry for any inconvenience I may have caused, or I apologize for my behavior earlier. So, I apologize is a word, or you can say I'm sorry for the word. And there is another expression that we say, that is maybe I haven't listed here, but I can say it orally, and you can of course note it down, that you can say that I'm afraid I'm not easy at this time. For example, you wanted to say that, can you please accompany me, and the person can respond that I'm afraid I'm not easy at this time, or I'm not free at this time. Now, I'm afraid, most of the people would think that the word afraid has to do with the Urdu dar. I mean, somebody is afraid of something, for example, afraid of lion, or afraid of tiger, or afraid of height, or something like that. But here, I'm afraid is not about that kind of fear. Fine. So here, I am afraid means I am sorry. So this is one of the very top modern, you can say very polite and very effective expression that you can use, that I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm afraid this is something, this is not going to help you. So this expression that you can use for apologies. Now, of course, when you say sorry, then of course the other expression can be accepting that apology. If, say, imagine that somebody has said sorry to you, apology to you, he has apologized from you, then how would you react? What should be and what could be your response? Now, accepting apology, there is, it's okay. I mean, the most, you can say the shortest answer can be that you can say it's okay. But I personally feel that the shorter words can result in a kind of can say harsh expression. So it is better to say something more so that you do not look harsh in that. So rather than saying it's okay, you can say it's okay, I understand, it's okay, it's all right, no issue, it's okay, it's all right. So there can be at least two different expressions, and you can add. The basic point is that it shouldn't be very short, because for example, some people say okay, this is very harsh, very rude. So if you are accepting an apology, then you must accept with big heart as well. So then there is another expressions like no worries, it happens, hota rehta hai, khair hai, something like that we say, and then we say that's fine, don't worry about it. So these are very polite. I really like these accepting apologies. Honestly, I am a kind of person who says sorry very easily, who apologize very easily, and who accept apologies very easily. So we all need to be something like that, because we must realize that to error is human and to forgive divine. The human commit mistakes, and it is the quality of Rahman, Allah, our God, that who accept our apologies. It is a quality of God. It is the biggest quality. So a human who has this quality definitely must be proud of that quality. Okay, we are moving towards some other expression that we can use in different situations. Of course, we have discussed a lot about how to greet, how to invite, how to express our regrets and all that stuff. So now we are moving towards some mixed situations, and I will try to cover everything maybe that we haven't covered yet in the lecture. So if there is a missed meeting, then you can have, we have discussed it, but we can have more expressions like I'm sorry I missed the meeting earlier, or you can say I regret not being able to make it to the meeting today. So there are different expressions, and there can be another, for example, forgetting important tasks. Now sometimes you are assigned some tasks, but you forget those important tasks. Now here, of course, it is very important to express your of course you need to express your thoughts on why you forget, and of course you need to apologize for that as well. So I'm sorry, I forgot to complete that task is a very common expression. Then you can say, I apologize for overlooking that task. I'll get it to it immediately. So overlooking that task is a very beautiful expression that you can use. And I regret not completing that on time. So see, the whole discussion throughout this lecture has been that there is a huge need for expressions. One has to express his thoughts in different situations. So we all have problems in our life. We all have different invitations to invite others. We all get being invited. We all say sorries. We all have to apologize. We all receive apologies and accept apologies. So we all have to say thank you at certain situations. We all have to receive those gratitudes, and in response we need to respond to those gratitudes. Everybody listening to this lecture does have this situation that where he has to either apologize or express gratitude or has to invite others. So this happened to everyone, and I hope this lecture will definitely help you express all these expressions in a different situations. Thank you very much. I have listed some of the one of the books as well where you can read it, the expressions in detail. Thank you very much for watching my lectures.